Okay, so I'm just gonna go over updating Godot and uh, talk a little bit about how open source software and stuff like that works. So Alex noticed that there's a new version of Godot, so we can go and download it. So I'm gonna go to, it says Godot for Windows, but I can change that. So let's go to the download page. And it can tell that I'm on a Mac, so it's going to bring me to Mac here. So it says 4.2 here. And so that's the version number. If I go onto my computer and look at the application for Godot, so I'm going to go to the applications folder and find Godot. Yours might be somewhere else, like on your desktop or something. That's fine. If I click on Godot here, you'll see the version number usually right there. And you can see this is 4.1.3. So normally with open source software as well as proprietary software, they have a version number so you can keep track of what version you're on. And one thing to keep in mind is that you don't have to update. And if you're like about to publish your game or release your application, you probably shouldn't update. Once you update, some updates usually are good because they're going to fix bugs and add features, but they may break things that you rely on. And so you don't have to update the software unless there's some platform update, like it won't run on Mac or something like that. So you can finish your game. You don't have to update. But if you want to update, it's a good idea to do it. So let's go over how we would do it. I'm going to go over like what you should do. It's not what most people will do and not usually what I do either, but what we would ideally want to do. So let's go ahead and we're going to keep 4.1.3 here. Just going to rename it. I'll just put 4.1.3 right there so we remember that that's what that is. And let's go ahead and download the new one. And since Godot is open source, we can, if we can click on this contribute button, this is a documentation. If we go to GitHub, we'll see Godot has its own GitHub page. And if we go to the main page here, you'll be able to see the release information. So in GitHub, under releases, you can see the most recent release is the 4.2 stable. Stable means that it's like working and you can download it and not worry about a lot of bugs. They also have more advanced ones that will be like alphas, where you can test new features if you want to do that. And then you can read about what the differences are. So there'll be a release announcement, and it'll say if there's bug fixes and new features and all sorts of stuff. You can see there's a lot of info in here. So we're not going to go over all of that right now, but that's something you could review. I already downloaded it. So I'm going to put this window here, and then I'm going to open a new window and go to my downloads, and I'm going to extract Godot from here. Remember, with Windows, you have two files that have to stay together, but with Mac, we just have one file, so we can just move it wherever. And so let's put this new Godot in our applications folder. And you can see there's the version 4.2. And so when we open our game, we are going to have to make sure that we're choosing the right Godot application. And it's also going to change the files in our game. It's going to update them to use the new engine. So what we really should do is back up our game. So I'm going to go to my game folder and compress. And that's going to make this little zip. And I'm just going to put backup, and I'll put 4.1.3 here. Just so I remember, that's why I made this backup. You could probably take some notes or do some other stuff, but that's simple enough. So this way, when we open the game using the new engine, if something breaks, we can use the old engine and use the old game if we just want to keep working. If we want to continue, we can fix whatever breaks. So the main thing I'm worried about breaking is our dialogue plugin. So we'll talk about that in a second. But let's open up the new Godot. And we're going to say, yes, I want to open this. And from here, I'm going to open my game. And notice it has this little warning. It's probably because this is a previous version this was built on a previous version, and it's probably going to tell me that when I try to open it. So let's click on this and click Edit. And here we go. This project is from Godot 4.1. Opening will change it 4.2. And I made a backup, so that's fine. I'm going to click OK. And hopefully we won't see any crazy errors. There's some errors here, but I'm not too worried about those. And so let's just run the game, see if it works. Okay, seems like it's working fine. Everything seems to be there. Let's see if I die, if I get the... There we go. Okay. So then the next thing... So that looks pretty good. I didn't get any new errors. Or maybe I did. Let's see. That was already there, so that's fine. So that's good. The next thing we want to do is if we have any plugins, check to see if they have updates, because the plugins will usually update with the application. Although what we really should have done is we should have gone to our dialogue plugin, which we really need for our game to work, and we should have gone to their GitHub page and checked to see if they have a new release for 4.2. And so we can see that they don't. Their latest release is for 4.1. And so then we could also check, maybe there's a pull request. No, maybe there's an issue. So it doesn't look like they have responded to the new Godot yet. So you might want to wait until your plugins are up to date and respond to the new Godot engine. But hopefully it'll just work anyway. There is a new version available, so let's go ahead and download that. And let's reload our project. And so now let's test our dialogue and just hope that it still works. So let's go to level 1. And we're going to try to talk. And that seems to work pretty good. So everything is looking pretty good. Uh-oh, that's not an issue with the engine. That's just these guys are too close together. Okay. All right. So that all worked. So everything is good, and we've updated to the new Godot without any issues. That was a lot more seamless and painless than I thought it was going to be, so that's good. And so yeah, we just will monitor our dialogue manager and hope it doesn't break in the future. And we can delete the old Godot if we want to. They do host old versions of Godot on their website, so if you had something that was built on an old version, you can go to the releases and go to the old release and download it from there. But for now, we can just delete this and move on with our lives. Okay, that's it for that.